When we were first married 33 years ago, Carrie and I bought a print of two people sitting reading. At the time, it seemed like it cost a fortune, but it was our most treasured piece of art. It has always been in our living space somewhere throughout the entire time together. And the two of us do exactly what that print depicts. We read together, and we think together, and we talk together in a space surrounded by books and culture. We've been in the house for 6 years. The house was built by an architect for himself and for his wife, and so it was a passion project for him. This room is what really drew us to the house. The 17.5-foot ceilings, the space, the windows, the light at different times of the day. We loved it when we got here. After we lived with it for a while, something had to happen at this end of the room. It seemed like a large empty box. The design process started literally just with the concept, we would like to have a library. We have a lot of books. We'd like to have them present in our lives. We need to have a place for them. Before putting pencil to paper on anybody's part, we started with, well, what does a library mean? What is its function, not just in a home, but in society? One of the centerpieces that you'll see is a giant unabridged dictionary, because I'm maniacal about words and the definitions of words. Carrie and I have always both really loved books and the things that sort of surround books in a library, so music and art and those sorts of things. We came up with this idea of having some form of library at this end of the room, 2 levels and some sort of way to get between them, and then just started working with Chadden, our designer, through multiple iterations. We looked at ladders, we looked at stairs, things of that sort. Some things were unsafe, some things were too big, and it became obvious that the real solution was a spiral staircase. Once we got into that solution, then we were able to start thinking, okay, how do we not just make a spiral staircase functional? How do we make it attractive? How do we make it grab the eye when you come into the room? Something like that became really the centerpiece of the whole project.
The ethos is really the intimacy. What we discovered is the use of a spiral staircase allowed us access to the second floor. Now it no longer became just a wall of books, but it became a space that had a vertical connection, and the spiral added another visual element that was very sculptural. It also allowed transition between floors that gave functionality that we couldn't accomplish with the limitations of a ladder. We got a lot out of Flight Spiral. It's one of the things we were looking for are an aesthetic that incorporated well with what we were trying to accomplish. Something that was sculptural and well crafted. I was particularly drawn to the organic nature of the lines. It wasn't stiff. It wasn't just a square or a rectilinear plank. It actually brought curves to it. Viewrail provided the most design-forward ideas, and they paired well with what we were doing within the space. I think it's really fun to look at spirals because they're quite elegant and they're quite functional, but they consolidate the footprint and allow us the flexibility of using very narrow spaces or very limited spaces in ways that we might not normally see.
LED lighting, the way that it's worked out here, it's been fantastic. That is oftentimes for us the only illumination on a dark night in the entire room, and it immediately brings your eye to it, summons the verticality that we were trying to achieve with the whole project. A number of people who have been to our house before have come to see the project since we've finished it, and consistently they all say the same thing. It looks like it was part of the original design. It looks like that's the vision of the architect who built the house.